Welcome back to the channel. Today we continue the story of You Have No Human Rights, a world of absurdity, tragedy, and sharp social satire. Let's dive into what unfolds in this chapter. Inside a grand hall glittering with crystal chandeliers, the upper class gathers for an unusual auction. What's being sold is not art or jewels, but human beings treated as commodities. They are presented as special products, already trained to serve as pets for elite families. With eager anticipation, the bidders prepare themselves, as if purchasing a person were nothing more than an exclusive form of entertainment. A spotlight illuminates a 17-year-old girl, presented not as a person, but as merchandise. Branded as someone who failed the human rights suitability test, her history is reduced to a selling point. The auction begins at a staggering $10 million, treating her existence as nothing more than numbers on a catalog. Proud bidders raise their paddles with smug satisfaction, increasing the price without hesitation, while the girl kneels in silence, forced to endure being paraded as an object for purchase. When the next number is called, one of the guests falls silent. The girl labeled as number 12 comes from the very place where he was once raised. She is Mia. Shock and a strange sense of fate mingle, turning the moment into something more than just an auction. For most, it is nothing more than a line in the catalog, but to him, it feels like destiny. With firm resolve, he decides to claim number 12, as if fate itself had arranged this reunion. Mia steps onto the stage, instantly capturing every gaze in the room. The guests are stunned, not only by her striking appearance, but also by the fact that she differs from the others. She is not the product of breeding, but the child of actual human rights holders. That revelation makes her a rarity, a prize worth fighting for. The bidding escalates quickly, climbing into the tens of millions without hesitation. Amid the frenzy, her fate is reduced to nothing more than a contest for the amusement of the privileged. The auction grows more intense as the bid suddenly soars to $40 million. Whispers ripple through the crowd, some shocked by the staggering sum. Yet for the elite gathered here, purchasing a human life is nothing more than an extravagant game. A burly man smirks with greed, regarding the girl as an investment he could discard and resell at will. Humanity is stripped away, replaced by calculations of profit and pleasure. Refusing to be outdone, he raises the bid to $45 million, as if such a fortune were nothing more than a trivial wager in their twisted spectacle. As the tension peaks, a commanding voice shatters the noise of bidding. $100 million is declared, silencing the hall in stunned disbelief. The other bidders stare in shock, unable to fathom such a staggering sum. Under the blinding spotlight, Mia stands frozen, her face a mixture of shock and uncertainty. With the strike of the gavel, the auction comes to a close. Number 12 is sold for $100 million, not as a human being, but as a prized possession for the elite. The auction ends, leaving behind a silence heavy with unease. Mia remains frozen, her expression clouded with uncertainty. Meanwhile, the winning bidder rises from her seat with calm composure, accompanied by Croy. Together, they walk away from the stage, as if the grim spectacle that had just taken place were nothing unusual. Upon arriving at the grand mansion, the residents warmly welcome their returning mother. In the midst of the gathering, girl number 12 is introduced as a new companion, someone to be accepted into their midst. Nervously, she gives her name, Haruki Mia, expressing gratitude for her new fate, though the fear in her eyes cannot be hidden. Her arrival sparks curiosity among the others, while the watchful gaze of the household's master makes it clear. Mia's story has only just begun. Mia's nervousness only deepens when her slip is met with a sharp slap across the face. The older woman's cold glare enforces a strict rule. She must be addressed as Mother. Fear flashes across Mia's face as she quickly bows and apologizes, her voice trembling. Meanwhile, a girl named Chocolate is ordered to escort her to her new room. In the calm courtyard, the conversation turns once again to Mia's fate. A casual question is posed. What do you think of the girl? The response highlights her beauty, something that had already stood out at the auction. Yet the discussion quickly takes a darker turn. She is not regarded as a person, but as an object of pleasure. The options spoken aloud are chilling, whether to use her, punish her, or indulge in any whim. In a calm yet oppressive exchange, Mother questions whether her reasoning is understood. She has divided her children into two types, a distinction heavy with meaning. When her companion admits not knowing, she clarifies with solemn conviction. To her, this division serves a purpose, the pursuit of equality. But the equality she speaks of is no true freedom, it is a rigid order enforced only within the confines of her own estate. With a piercing gaze, she asserts that under her roof, it is she alone who defines what justice truly means. With a bitter tone, Mother voices her beliefs about the injustice born from appearances. To her, the beautiful can live easily, thriving on nothing but their looks, while the less fortunate are pushed aside without a chance. She even reflects on her own life. Despite her wealth, no man has ever truly loved her. To her, the world is unbalanced, tilted too heavily toward the beautiful. And so, she claims, she was compelled to act, to create a new order within her household, the very opposite of society outside, in an attempt to restore the balance she believes has been lost. In her room, Mia is approached by Chocolate, who bluntly asks about her auction price. Awkwardly, she admits 100 million, while humbly confessing she isn't confident she's worth that much. But instead of sympathy, she is met with cruel laughter. Chocolate mocks her, calling her nothing more than an expensive toy bought for their amusement. The words cut deep, a harsh reminder that within this household, Mia will not be seen as a person, but only as entertainment for others. With a twisted grin and mocking eyes, Chocolate hurls cruel words at Mia. She accuses her of once living an easy life, pampered and adored simply for her beauty. But here, such privilege means nothing. Seizing Mia with a harsh grip, she sneers that within this household, Mia stands at the very bottom, lower than anyone else. Instead of acceptance, Mia finds herself the target of hostility, her presence sparking resentment and danger from the very beginning. Anger and envy erupt into violence. Chocolate tears at Mia's clothes, shouting with hatred. To her, Mia embodies every humiliation she had ever suffered at the hands of the beautiful. Each shred of fabric ripped away is an act of vengeance, accompanied by scornful words that brand Mia's body as vulgar and shameful. In the courtyard, Mother and Croy engage in another quiet exchange. She asks whether he feels pity for the auctioned group. Croy answers plainly that he does not, admitting he has never been in a position to pity anyone. His indifference makes Mother smile with satisfaction, interpreting it as proof of loyalty. Mia collapses to the floor, trembling as her torn clothes barely cover her body. Her breath is ragged, her face clouded with humiliation and confusion. All Mia can do is silently ask why. Why would someone do something so cruel to her? Behind her vacant eyes lies the anguish of a girl, stripped not only of her clothes, but of her dignity. Clad in torn clothes, Mia anxiously worries about facing Mother in such a state. Her unease deepens when another resident approaches, introducing herself as Juju. Calmly, she explains that what Mia endured was no accident, but part of a long-standing tradition within the auction group, the bullying of newcomers. Juju points out the cruel paradox. If Mia wears her shredded dress, Mother will punish her, but if she changes into new clothes, the others will simply destroy them again. Juju calmly explains the cruel order that governs the household. Here, everyone is ranked by appearance. The beautiful are placed into the auction group, while the unattractive form the shelter group. But the bitter irony lies in the fact that it is the shelter group that holds power, for Mother despises beauty itself. With a firm voice, Juju warns Mia, no matter what happens to them, no one will intervene, no one will help. Submission is the only path, or else one becomes a target. After Juju leaves, Mia sits alone, struggling to process everything she has just learned. Though still overwhelmed by fear, she feels a flicker of gratitude toward the one person who offered her some clarity. With tearful eyes, she admits she never imagined such a world could truly exist. Alone in her room, Mia cannot stop her thoughts from drifting toward an even darker possibility. She imagines being owned by a filthy man, reduced to nothing more than an object for his pleasure, a vision that makes her shudder. Quickly, she shakes her head, scolding herself to stay positive. She convinces herself that, despite the cruelty of her current reality, it must still be better than the alternative. As Mia remains lost in her troubled thoughts, her door suddenly bursts open. An older man, disheveled and imposing, strides inside, his heavy steps echoing across the floor. Startled, Mia stiffens, nervously asking what he wants. Suddenly, the old man lunges at Mia, grabbing her by the throat and slamming her to the floor. Her scream pierces the air as she struggles desperately, her fragile body no match for his force. Gasping for breath, her face twists with terror while she cries out for help. Cornered and terrified, Mia struggles desperately, her wide eyes brimming with panic. Her voice breaks into a desperate scream, begging for help as tears stream down her face. Her body trembles under the merciless grip that refuses to let her go. Yet even as her cries echo through the air, she realizes that in this cruel world, her plea for salvation may only be met with silence. The chapter closes on her anguished scream, a bitter reminder of how fragile hope can be in the face of relentless cruelty. And that's the end of today's chapter. What do you think? Is the story getting more intense? Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe so you won't miss the next part of the story. See you in the next episode.